नमस्ते। आप सभी का स्वागत है, हार्दिक स्वागत है इस अद्भुत कार्यक्रम में, इस प्रांगण में जो कि हम लोग वर्चुअली इकट्ठा हुए हैं। आइए सर झुकाकर इस प्रांगण में हम सब प्रवेश करते हैं, एक दूसरे के मस्तिष्क पर वर्चुअली अभिषेक करते हैं। करबद्ध अभिवादन से करके नमन, खुशियों से भरी इस महफिल का श्री गणेश करते हैं। गदगद कंठ से मैं वंदन करता हूँ, आपके चरणों की धूलि का मैं चंदन करता हूँ। परम पिता परमेश्वर की कर स्तुति हृदय से मैं आप सभी का अभिनंदन करता हूँ। मेरा नाम हिमांशु दीक्षित है। मैं राष्ट्रीय विधि संस्थान भोपाल का 4th ईयर का लॉ स्टूडेंट हूँ और आज के इस कार्यक्रम की मॉडरेशन एवं कोऑर्डिनेशन की जिम्मेदारी मेरे इन छोटे छोटे कंधों पर दी गई है। इसलिए यदि मुझसे मन संचालन की इस अवधि में कोई भी छोटी त्रुटि हो जाए तो उसे कृपया करके क्षमा करने का पुरजोर प्रयास कीजिएगा। मैं आप सबका एक बार स्वयं से विनयवत अभिनंदन करता हूं, स्वागत करता हूं। इस दिव्य प्रांगण की शोभा बढ़ाने के लिए हम सबके बीच कई ऐसी हस्तियां उपस्थित हैं जो समस्त मानव जाति के एक प्रेरणा स्रोत हैं। इस दिव्य पुरुषों में सर्वप्रथम मैं स्वागत व अभिनंदन करना चाहूंगा हमारे बीच उपस्थित ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस श्री वेद प्रकाश जी का, फॉर्मर जज मध्य हाई कोर्ट ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश एंड प्रेजेंट चेयरपर्सन ऑफ लॉ कमीशन ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश, ऑनरेबल जस्टिस वेद प्रकाश शर्मा सर, नमस्ते। Originally born in the beautiful and iconic city of Agra, Justice Sharma joined Madhya Pradesh Judicial Services on 16th of April 1983 as a civil magistrate. With an immensely inspiring career record, Mr. Justice Ved Prakash became Principal Registrar and later the Registrar General of the Madhya Pradesh High Court. Justice Ved Prakash presently is heading the prestigious legal setup of the country called Law Commission of Madhya Pradesh since 1st of June 2018. Under the leadership of Mr. Ved Prakash, Law Commission has done a profound work in the administration of justice in the state of Madhya Pradesh, repealing of more than 100 obsolete laws and acts, drafting model legislations are few amongst many such achievement of Mr. Justice. We have the great honor of having him in the session today. We are certain that with his insights, we will definitely have an ironclad resolution by the end of this session. Thank you so much, sir, for associating with us. In the same panel, we have our own professors. One professor which we have today is Honorable Shri P.K. Shukla sir. With more than 30 years of experience under his hand, Shri P.K. Shukla sir is an expert on criminal law. His captivating lectures have never failed to awe students and teach them this subject with extreme clarity. He is currently the head of criminal reform and criminal law and also the chairperson of Center for Civil and Criminal Justice Administration at the National Law University, Bhopal. Sir has done his PhD from BHU, Banaras Hindu University, and has an extreme career record in serving many national law universities, including NLSIU Bangalore and NLIU Bhopal. Sir has always inspired students in his studies. Sir's area of interest has always been social policy reform, criminal law reform, as well as jurisprudence. Sir has written many books also, including the book on law of abortion in India. He is also continuously working on the issues related to ethics for education and governance. So we are extremely happy to have you on the board. I remember one of the quotations that many times my professor has told me that Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namaः। आप सच में सर, आप जैसे समस्त गुरुजन हमारे लिए हमेशा प्रेरणादायी स्रोत हैं। अज्ञानान्तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जस्य शलाख्या। अंधकार में जिस तरीके से पड़ी हुई रस्सी सर्प के समान प्रतीत होती है, ठीक उसी प्रकार से आप आके उस कमरे में ज्वाला एक उजाला करके हम लोगों को एक नई दिशा देते हैं। आप दोनों का हार्दिक अभिनंदन मैं करता हूं। और अंत में हमारे प्रोजेक्ट के लीडर ऑनरेबल श्री मैथिली शरण गुप्ता जी, स्पेशल डीजीपी पुलिस रिफॉर्म। सर, आपके लिए जितने भी शब्द मैं कहूँ वो मेरे लिए बहुत ही कम होंगे, क्योंकि सूर्य को प्रमाण देने की जरूरत नहीं है कि उसमें प्रकाश है, उसका तेज स्वयं में ही प्रमाण है कि उसमें प्रकाश है। आप इस प्रोजेक्ट के लीड करने के सबसे हकदारी व्यक्ति हैं, और मुझे उम्मीद है आज हमारे इस दिव्य प्रांगण में उपस्थित मंचासीन अतिथियों द्वारा कुछ ऐसे तर्क और कुछ ऐसे सुझाव प्रस्तुत किए जाएंगे जिसके माध्यम से जो प्रपोजिशन आप रखना चाह रहे हैं उसमें हम लोग को अवश्य सफलता मिलेगी। श्री मैथिली शरण गुप्त जी, मैं आपका आभार करता हूँ, आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ, और इसी के साथ मैं आपको माइक भी सुपुर्द करता हूँ कि आगे की कार्यवाही, आगे की प्रक्रिया विधिवत आप अपनी तरफ से प्रसारित करें। सर, श्री मैथिली शरण गुप्त जी।
Himanshu, thank you very much for nicely introducing Honorable Chairman, Law Commission, Madhya Pradesh, and Dr. P.K. Shukla ji. And I am greatly honored by their presence in this live session. Today's session is very important from my perspective, because it is a foundation, or it is a statutory foundation for providing a new concept, and it is highly important, because now we are in arena where we are talking of privacy. Privacy is core issue. If we analyze the present scenario, whatever be the small reason, maybe say a lower, maybe at the end of lower functionary of the police, or maybe at the lower functionary of the court. But a hard fact of the life is this, that our very vital information is falling in the hand of defense lawyers, and even in private hands also. Sometimes, just to take a little credit, we go to the press and we give the so sensitive information that we are really providing that vital information to criminal, and that is almost suicidal. Now you recall when that incidents of the 9/11 had taken place, and rather 26 November attack on the Mumbai, in which the live telecast was a great source of information to terrorists. So we have to be really very, very cautious that vital information must not reach to the in the hand of the people. And the best way of doing it, if it is not reaching to the police itself, that is the most ideal way of it. So then it cannot flow to any other hand. It cannot be used for taking credit. So the biggest or most sensitive part of this act, which we were thinking of, it is number one, to maintain the status quo. Whenever we talk of any law, and especially if it is coming from the center, states are always a little apprehensive about the intention of central government, and they feel that the balance is shifting in favor of center. So whether we are creating NIA or CBI, it is treated as an attempt that something is being done whereby that policing, which is supposed to be subject of the state government, its balance may be shifted in favor of center. That's why we were very cautious, and this was one of the very guiding principle, that we do not intend to any way tinker with the fine balance and let the status quo should be maintained. So everywhere we are saying it is the scientific and technical assistance in terms of entry 65C, whereby our whole intention to help out police, to help out public in getting FIR registered, in getting the case detected, in getting conviction in court of law, and even later on using it for preventing crime as a whole, and finally rehabilitating them. But nowhere we are tinkering with the power. So we are making use of the power of SHO. We are working or using technology for working out on the thousands of the options and extracting information. If it is having evidentiary values, immediately creating 3 certificates. That is the certificate of admissibility, so that the defense lawyer should not be in position to use his legal knowledge to somewhere create doubt in the mind of court that probably this piece of evidence is not admissible in court of law. So we are saying we are creating a kind of a certificate, though final appreciation of the facts and taking a call and taking a decision, it will always be the prerogative of the honorable court. But this certificate will be giving a very finer details, which will help the magistrate or judge to appreciate and give the decision in favor of admissibility, number one. Secondly, it is also creating a certificate of integrity. So it is saying that whatever the information, majority of information is not loaded, it is captured. So when we say capture means in majority of the cases, the app or technology is capturing it on real-time basis, and it is locking that with the date, time, and location stamp, and it is being encrypted almost on the real-time basis, and it is being logged with the hash value and protected with the blockchain technology. So even the technology, if there are few technologies which are now really acquired a dangerous shape, basically, if I am allowed to say so, like deep fake. In deep fake, we might be seen talking, even the tone and tenor will be of say Maithili Saran Gupta or maybe Honorable Justice, but probably it may be a technological imitation, and it is very difficult to really make out whether it is the same person is talking or somebody else is talking, because it is taking everything from that person. So tone will be there, tenor will be there, everything would be there, and probably it will take a long time to really justify whether it is a creation of the deep fake or it is a true video. So here we are trying to say that there may be technology, but we will not provide any scope for the technology to play a nasty role. So because everything is being encrypted, protected with the hash value and blockchain technology, so these negative technology will not be having any opportunity to play a vitiative role. So that is the second, that is the certificate of integrity. And then wherever there is a movement, it will be creating chain of custody also. So certificate of chain of custody, whether it is a physical movement or whether it is a digital movement. So even in case of digital movement, at each step, it will be creating a certificate of admissibility under section 65B, thereby proving that from very capturing to the last stage when it is being put up before the court of law, there is no manipulation. And here we are in a big way trying to de-stress and de-burden police, because whatever the evidence they are being captured, they will be directly pushed to the testing centers, FSL laboratories, without being taken to Thana. At present, they are being pegged and at the spot, probably not properly pegged. They are sometimes lying for many months in Thana, then they are lying for many months in FSL, and almost 80 to 90% cases, they say that sample is not fit for testing, it is already degenerated or spoiled. So this technology will take away those kind of opportunities also. So sir, basically it is providing three things. Number one, it is protecting privacy. Number two, it is creating lot of evidence. At present, the police is limiting itself to the section 27, majority of the cases on the recovery of new fact and evidence admissible under 27. But now there will be lot of devices, lot of people, those who will be really focusing. So now a lot of evidence would be available in terms of the section 8 and section 9 of Evidence Act, and a lot of evidence would be available in terms of the section 45 of Evidence Act, when we will be involving experts in a very, very big way. So there will be not only the evidences, but there will be plenty of evidences, and they will be almost infallible evidences on account of these three certificates, sir. Now, sir, it is not providing this raw data to police. So it is converting the investigation lead in a layman language, so that police personnel need not to really have a very high complex technical knowledge. And that lead would be admissible in court of law, because that will be having very sound way So this kind of the lead has come from the system, that itself will be a kind of evidence. And coupled with the movement and coupled with the expert, it will be having almost a kind of a thing. I always draw a parallel with the cricket. Earlier, sir, when we were the children, probably, sir, you will agree that cricket used to be win or lost on account of role of umpire. And if the Sachin Tendulkar kind of a player when is getting one or two lease line, or lifeline by the wrong judgment of any umpire, that can turn the balance. But at present, no umpire can really dare to do that, sir. This technology will be doing that kind of enabling of the court, sir. And here we are talking, sir, we will be bringing kind of respect to the people, those who are coming as a witness, sir. So we are in a big way trying to help courts, sir. Number one, sir, the issuance of summons and warrants. So first we will go to the witnesses, and they can really give the details if they are having some genuine reason for certain dates, and they want that date should not be the date of trial. So they can upload their documents, and they can say, sir, this date should not be a date for trial or date for their evidence. And if that is accepted, then that date will be blocked. The rest of the date will be available to the judge, and the moment he click on a particular date for the fixing trial, automatically summons would be generated. The judge Mahoday, he has to just put his digital signature, which will be enabled by the system. So without any hassles, the signature could be there. And the moment it becomes a proper summons or warrant under the seal and signature of judge, then it will be routed through our system directly to the person to whom it is addressed. And if he is available, then it will complete the protocol and will bring the certificate of execution to the court instantaneously. If by any reason, if that person is not available on our net, then a nearest volunteer will go, and he will complete the process almost on the same day, and the proof of execution would be available with the court on the real-time basis. But for this, we deliberately want to give the revenue stream also to that person who will be doing this job. When these two things will be failing, then we will be going to the police as a last resort, and then police will be executing the summons and warrant. So in a very big way, we will be in position to de-burden and de-stress police. These are, sir, a few things which I wanted to brought on record before you, sir. ये मेरे द्वारा ज्यादा कहना सर ठीक नहीं है, बिकॉज ये तो सर दीपक को सर प्रकाश दिखाने जैसी बात होगी सर. So I really very humbly, sir, request you to, sir, kindly, sir, give your blessings. And if you are having a certain doubt about whole thing, sir, then kindly give me the opportunity so I can use this platform to explain that, sir. With this humble word, sir, I request you kindly to, sir, bless us with your feeling, with your suggestions, and with the, please guide us that how we should take it so that it can become a reality of the tomorrow, and let the people should have the fruits of this wonderful fruits of the technology. And it is having 5 revenue streams also, capable of changing per capita income without any expenditure on the part of the government, sir. So we are very keenly, sir, looking for your guidance, sir, your word of blessing, sir. And I will be too happy if, sir, there's any query from your side. I will try to humbly explain about that, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Talab. Mathlishan Gupt, Director General, Police Reforms, Bhopal. Dr. P.K. Shukla, Head of the Department, Criminal Law, NLIU, Bhopal. And other participants who are associated with this program. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Sri Gupta for associating me with this program. It is really a matter of privilege for me to share my views on a project which has been prepared by taking deep and thorough pains for more than a couple of years. Now, I will just say that the entire project is going on in a missionary spirit, and the entire approach happens to be a holistic approach in the crime-free India. Of course, we know that there cannot be a country, a state, a district, or even a taluka which can be crime-free. But then, moving in that very direction and attaining success should be the goal. Therefore, the goal fixed by Sri Gupta is definitely laudable. Here I remember what was remember regarding a fictional character created by famous novelist George Orwell in his fiction 1984, which was written sometimes in 1949. And the fictional character was the Big Brother. And it was being said that the Big Brother is watching you. So the ICT in today's world has assumed the role of Big Brother, who is watching you every time, every minute. My Alexa is there in my living room. Google Mini is there in my bedroom. When I just speak about some song, then it remembers. When I ask play it, it will play without any hassle. Now, the question is that technology has come into our life to such an extent that we are totally surrounded by it. And therefore, there are certain very serious issues with regard to the privacy. The second aspect is that use of the technology by those who are working in breach of law. And the third and the most important aspect is, which is the point of our discussion here, using the information and communication technology, using the power of the Big Brother, using the big hand of the Big Brother to attain a society where crime is minimal and the people can feel that they are safe and secure. Now, as we know, the first and foremost duty of state happens to be to create an environment where the people can enjoy their rights freely, meaning thereby that there is proper maintenance of public law and order. And that has been sophisticatedly stated as rule of law. There should be rule of law, and rule of law being the most prominent pillar of the democracy. Therefore, if there is erosion in the rule of law, then definitely there is erosion in the values of the democracy, and ultimately the people at large, public at large, will lose its confidence in the efficacy of the system of the government. So therefore, this process just connects us with the process of good governance. Rule of law means good governance. Now, the question is that the health of criminal justice system has been a matter of debate for almost more than 30 years. When I entered the portals of judiciary, when I started reading that the criminal justice system is at the verge of collapse, the health is very poor. And thereafter, in many seminars, in many debates, in many conferences, this saying was being repeated again and again by various chief justices of the country, by various jurists, by lawyers and judges. Now, this concern with regard to the health of the criminal justice system was well based, because an ordinary man prefers not to lodge a report, and if he dares to lodge a report, then the report is not lodged, and if it is lodged, then it is not lodged in those very terms in which he desires to, and even if it is lodged in the terms in which he desires to, then the investigation is of such shape that basically we used to talk between the judges while dealing with criminal cases. Then the fate of the case is ultimately decided by the investigating officer. He can decide whether to earn an acquittal or whether to provide a conviction for a particular criminal. He can decide. The job of the judge starts after the foundation of the case has been laid. And you can't build upon a big mason on a poorly built foundation. And that's why what happened? The conviction rate went down to 35% and as low as 11% in a particular state. I am not naming it. And this is something which the NCRB was recording. There are so many cases where the conviction is recorded by the magistrate or by the session judge, and at appeal, again it is converted into acquittal. Data has to be collected. We analyze. Now, the health can be improved. Firstly, the reporting mechanism is brought up to date. Secondly, the detection mechanism is made effective. Thirdly, the investigation mechanism is honest and efficient. And lastly, the trial, meaning thereby production of the relevant evidence before the court for its appreciation and determination of the guilt. These are important steps. If these things are systematically, step by step, taken care of, then of course we can hope that there will be a system which is healthy criminal justice system. It's not that we are bent upon convicting every person. There should be justice, be it a conviction, be it a acquittal. But then if the evidence is being collected in a proper manner, then definitely the chances of conviction will increase. If the conviction is there, then there will be a fear of rule of law in the mind of those who are having that tendency, criminal tendency. Now, we know that the Sri Gupta ji talked about the provision of Indian Evidence Act section 27. Now, this is one provision which is put into use in 80-90% cases. Whether a recovery, fact-based recovery is required or not, but a recovery memo is there, a discovery memo is there. All these things are almost inbuilt in every criminal case. What has happened? The seriousness of this provision has went away. Nobody takes it seriously. Even if the narcotic drug is recovered from the person on his information, but the court is always looking very in a doubtful manner whether it was really so, whether it was bought from somewhere else. That is the situation. But if the intervention of technology is there as conceived in this entire project, then there will be nothing to doubt. And then the conventional tools, the conventional modes, the conventional methods have to be abandoned. We know, and I think Gupta ji knows better, that how the cases are investigated. So those outdated methods, those methods which many a times go against the preservation of human rights, against the constitutional norms, they have to be abandoned, and they can be abandoned only when we adopt a efficient system to substitute. And that system is being proposed in this project, as I could gather from various things which has been stated in various documents. Now, what is necessary? We have been using the technology in criminal law. DNA fingerprinting test is almost more than 25 years old. Handwriting experts, fingerprint experts, blood tests, serological examination, in the CCTV footage. But then these are, you see, we gather the evidence in very isolated, a very splintered way. Now, what is the need of the end? That a cohesive, comprehensive, coordinated, strategic approach is taken to use the technology in such a manner that each and every doubt with regard to the truthfulness of the process is thrown away. That is necessary. Now, what has been done in preparing this project, as I comprehend, is to use the technology in that very manner. And for that, I must appreciate the efforts put in by Krishnan Gupta ji, tireless efforts, I think for more than 2, 3, 4 years, because you see, nothing is born out in days or months or years. First, you have to conceive the idea. Then you have to think about it from various angles. Then you have to find out that what may be the loopholes, what may be the challenges, and then to come out with a system, really a marathon task, and which he has been able to perform. Now, this has been done, of course, with the help of many students, and again was able to secure the assistance and cooperation of all those students in just taking forward this entire scheme, and definitely that has provided a very, very beautiful shape to the entire. Now you see, there are two types of people: optimistic and pessimistic. A pessimist will throw away any scheme, any project, any idea at the threshold. And an optimist will say, yes, I see rays of hope. I see something very noble. I see something emerging from the entire concept. Maybe I can say I'm an optimist. I have always been an optimist. I have been in the judiciary almost for 40 years. I entered the system sometimes in 1980. After completing my law in 1979, I started practice as a lawyer in the Lucknow bench of the Allahabad High Court, and then joined judiciary for certain reasons, because it was not possible for me to adopt all those ways, my initial ways of practice, which are available. And in judiciary, again I was so optimistic that the system can deliver justice. But then, as I pointed out earlier, that there are certain issues. If the case comes before you in a very weak position, if the case comes before the court in a position which cannot stand upon its legs, and what the court can do? Court cannot manipulate. It's not permissible. So therefore, if we have a system which uses the technology as a potent tool, which uses the technology to serve the people in a manner so that the confidence of the people in the system is strengthened, then definitely we have to proceed with a positive approach, with a positive mind, and with the attitude that things can be done, whatever may be the challenge. So this is something I wanted to say. The paper which has been prepared, the draft law which has been prepared are quite meticulous. When it comes to the legislative capacity of the state and the central, then of course there will be certain limitations when we say that some policing has to be done by the center. But then what I understand from this entire material is not policing. It is providing tools to the police personnel, to the common man, for making a quality policy. So if data, if the tools, if the approaches, if the inputs are provided by an agency, maybe the agency is a central agency, then it will definitely enhance and strengthen the quality of justice to be delivered by them. So that way, even if a central authority is created for analysis of data, or just keeping an eye that what are the tools, how they can be used, and then providing supported measures to the state agency, then that is definitely within the legislative capacity of the center. And as far as the legislative capacity of the state is concerned, there can never be any doubt. There can be no doubt at all. It is not a power, it is a duty. The state has a duty to conduct policing, to conduct crime detection, to conduct crime control and crime prevention, and to control investigative process in a manner so that each and every stakeholder of the system feels that justice has been done to him or her. When we say justice to every stakeholder, that I include in therein accused, the victim, the witnesses, the society at large, and the state. They are all the stakeholders. So therefore, the wonderful concept put forth by Shri Maithleshwar Gupta ji. And it is not now at the level of concept, a framework with so many minute details with regard to so many things that have been put in. Therefore, I would like to wish every success to this entire project, which is not a project, which is a mission, which is not only a mission, which is a holistic mission with a holistic vision. And therefore, to have a crime-free society, we should move in that direction. Whether we are able to the stage of zero crime, this is another aspect. But we can reach the stage where only 5% crime, only 10% crime. That is also a very wonderful situation. Therefore, we should move with that approach, that attitude, with that commitment. Once again, I would like to express my gratitude to Sri Maithleshwar Gupta ji for providing me this wonderful opportunity to share my views on something which is of immense importance to the society, to the individual, and to the nation. Thank you very much.
Sir, I'm really greatly honored for your kind words. These are the blessing in true sense, sir. While you were narrating the whole thing, sir, a lot of blessing was really showering on us, and we are feeling greatly emboldened. We are feeling greatly encouraged, sir, with your kind words, sir, and it has really infused the right kind of the energy which really we were lacking. So, sir, thank you very much, sir. And we will leave no stone unturned, sir. So, one thing I would like to, sir, little add. In addition of, sir, providing the crime-free Bharat concept, because we are removing the very the people, the purpose of committing crime, because nobody really want to commit crime. It is a fire inside the stomach, which sometimes then convert into the greed also. That is responsible for crimes. So when we will be moving the option that committing crime will be no more of a option, sir, and then coupled with rehabilitation, probably they would like to enjoy the fruit of a good citizenship, sir. And there will be state guarantee. They will be imparted right kind of skill set, and then they will be, since we are having all the details about them, because we are not leaving them any option to commit crime, so there is no risk involved in really taking full guarantee on their behalf, sir. And thereby we can really make them a very constructive, fruitful, contributing good citizens, and probably that negative things will be taken away. At the moment, sir, there's a lot of negativity in the whole system. Now we are listening about the drugs, and sir, recently, sir, you are listening about what is happening in Mumbai, and how, yes, sir, how drugs and other things are happening. And so, in that scenario, if you are having a kind of a system,
the wonderful aspect is everyone knows about everything,
yes,
and everyone says, "I know nothing."
So once again, sir, we are really greatly honored, and we are feeling greatly blessed with your kind words. Uh, we will leave no stone unturned, sir. We will personally visit you, sir. We'll seek your guidance, sir, and we will reply. So the best advantage which we are having, it is not being done by anybody else. It is our vision. It is being done by the students and with the participation of the academic institution. So we are having full control, and students are doing wonderful jobs. They are at many places they are surpassing even my expectations. And
So
sometimes
they are having tremendous they are having tremendous energy,
yes,
and
sir.
they are always dreaming about positivity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And sir, For common citizens, sir, there's a lot of things, sir, which I would like to stress upon, because this project is promising 5 streams or revenue streams, sir. Now, sir, whosoever is having the power or even the responsibility to prosecute for some wrongdoing, they themselves become the custodian and they start patronizing for getting petty gains, sir. It is not hidden from anybody, sir. So, and sir, if we look at from the legal angle, Section 39 and Section 40 provides
Right.
n number of the responsibility or normal
Duty of the common man.
Yes, sir.
Report to the police about commission of a crime. That is the duty. And if he is not complying with the duty without any explanation, then it is punishable under law, under IPC.
Sir, I would like to stress upon that proving innocence, this burden lies on the citizen.
Yes.
In the many cases,
Yes,
Yes, sir.
that has been put on the citizen.
yes, sir. In remaining cases, it is the duty of the police and prosecution to prove
Yes.
beyond reasonable doubt, and only then, Your Honor, they will be prosecuted in court of law. Here, the burden of proving innocence lies on the citizen.
Yes.
Now, with this great responsibility on their shoulder, there are not the people who are taking cognizance. They are refusing left, right, and center. The leadership and hierarchy is more in favor of not taking cognizance, maybe under the fear of statics or whatever be the reasons thereof, sir. And so, why not to give this power to them to capture evidence? So, while discovering the methodology for the FIR, it was a great discovery, sir. We could discover the technology whereby we can push the well extracted FIR with the full digital. Yes,
There
sir.
are so many provisions on the statute book,
Yes, sir.
including Indian Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, Indian Evidence Act, which are lying still for centuries. They have not been used. There is one section 165, Evidence Act, seldom used. Then this the duty of the ordinary man to report to the police about the commission of the crime. That is something. Have you ever heard that somebody is prosecuted for not giving information to the police about the commission of the crime? No one.
Sir, I will put it a little differently, sir. Whether
Yeah.
we ever bother to really inform public that they are the policemen in civil dress, they are having all responsibility of policemen. The only thing, they are not getting salary, and secondly, they are not donning uniform. Barring these two things, in all sense, they are the policemen. This great fact and great empowerment we have not really conveyed to the public. I think it is a high time this need to be conveyed properly, sir. Number one. Number two, they need to be enabled. So the capturing is possible with the wide scale, sir. The violation is just not possible because that so many eyes will be looking at it. So there will be, sir, 3 capturing agencies. Number one, volunteers, they will be capturing. And when we say volunteers, I mean all 137 crore people of the India. Secondly, sir, all CCTV. And when we talk of the CCTV, since a very heavy revenue will be coming to them, because they will be recouping the whatever the expenditure they will be incurring in 3 to 6 months. So after 3 to 6 months, they will be gaining pure income. So there will be a rush to really come and establish their nodes, and then IoT devices. So that these people will get the 50% of the challan money, sir. Either if it is being done by the volunteer, then volunteer will get the money, and then otherwise the owner of the CCTV device, owner of the IoT device, they will be getting this 50% money. Now it will be mind-boggling money, sir, that because the compounding fine is from the 2,000 to 10,000, sir, and 50% means 1,000 to 5,000. Now with a click of button, it is encrypted with the date, time, and location, sir, and it is packaged and it is taken to the competent authority. He is having no option but to sign, because his refusal will again follow the same route which we are adopting for FIR. it means it will go to the SP under 154(3), and even if he is not listening, then it will go to the court under section 156(3) of the CRPC, sir. So in majority of the cases, they will not dare to falter on this, sir, because they will not be having any convincing reasons, and they know that they are not the last authority. So in majority of the cases, they will be putting their digital signature. The moment they are putting digital signature, it is getting converted into a proper challan. Then technology has been developed to that extent. In no time, it will identify the offender, sir. So whether the offender is the driver or owner, nobody is hidden. Just cannot be hidden. I mean, so something like that. So we will then reach out to the person with the challan. Okay, hey, here is the challan. You can make a payment, and all the options of the payment would be available over there. If he prefers to give the challan, or he can make the payment, 50% money will go to that volunteer and 50% money will go to the treasury. So, sir, a hypothetical situation, let's say 130 crore people press one button, it will be creating mind-boggling money of 130,000 crore rupees in one button, sir. Imagine a situation when the student is going to his school or college or for the coaching class, and he presses two buttons, and while coming back, again pressing two buttons and getting 4,000 or 5,000 rupees. Probably his dependence on his parents would not be there for his education, for his coaching, and for things like that. So it will be affecting, and it will be a transfer of money from haves to have not, and it will be influencing per capita income in very big way. So this is the first revenue, and the second revenue which we are talking, that is the summons and warrants. They will not be executed by, and basically, since we are creating a lot of money, we are very keen to distribute it, sir. So distributing money itself is a purpose, sir. So we are finding out the ways and means to create money and to distribute it both ways. We are very keen on it.
We can say that we are economically empowering the common man.
Yes, sir.
For the reason he is associating himself with the criminal justice process so as to strengthen the process.
And
So
sir, at
it
the
is
same time,
the empowerment of the common man, it is the empowerment of the criminal justice system. And there is a mutuality between.
yes, sir. Very true, sir. Very true, sir. Very true, sir. And at the same time, sir, his identity is basically protected, sir. Unless it goes into the court, his identity will be kept a secret, sir. Because when it goes to the court, then identity has to be disclosed. But if he made the payment, then his identity will be kept a secret, and that is with the authority. It is not with the police, sir. Number one, sir. Now, number two, sir, he cannot send anything wrong, because we are not permitting uploading. We are permitting capturing through our device, and there is no scope of any manipulation. And when so many eyes will be looking at, we will be leading towards the rule of law, sir. So present, sir, it's a basically rule of law is being observed in almost by not observing it, sir. Then it will become order of the day, sir. Number one, sir. And as we will grow, sir, we will enhance our capacity to capture, sir. Just assume kariye, sir. Then we can talk of the lane discipline. Then we can talk of the inter-vehicle discipline. Then, sir, we can even fit devices which can take care of whether he's having the driving license or not, whether the vehicle is fit or not. Even before starting, you have to give a puff to the system, and he will say that you have tried to run the vehicle, and probably he would be prosecuted for that. And the system will not be allowing him to start the vehicle. So we will be going for a safer society, sir. So rule compliant and safer society. We are losing, sir, 160,000 people every year in accidents, sir. And this is, I'm talking of the death. That the number of the victims or the person, those who have become handicapped, it is almost 5 times of this figure. So 1685 is almost 8 lakh kind of the people, they are getting handicapped on account of the accident, sir. So by probably we will be in position to reduce it to the 110, sir. And this is the only way that we can do that. Honorable Supreme Court has framed a committee. They have also gone for a fund also. But I think somewhere I feel that we should go with the PIL before the court. This is the way we can ensure in a years we will reduce the accidental death to the 50%, and subsequently it will go almost to the negligible level, because we will try to go on the preventive side, we will go on capturing side, and we will go on where doing accident would not be an option, sir. As we are talking that doing crime is not an option, I will say that doing accident would not be option open to the person. So that kind of the society is possible, and probably this role model can be then adopted by the other countries also, sir. So I feel, sir, sir, if you see that the letter which I have written to the DG, BP and RMD, I very critically said that कि एक आदमी से इतनी अपेक्षा करना ठीक नहीं है. I have really used my energy guiding students from the 53 universities in which the IITs are and IIMs are also there. And this year, sir, we launched we participated in a Smart India Hackathon with the 12 problem statements. And now we are ready with the technology for getting FIR registered without visiting police station, sir. Now we are ready with the technology whereby we will be in position to capture all kind of the evidences. We are in position to identify if the person is moving out from his house with the intention of committing crime, sir. Who is there, sir, to talk in this confirmative way, sir? And we are having n number of attributes to identify and cross-verify, sir. And we are having the strategy to intervene, or a smart intervention strategy, whereby we will be in position to capture him before he could commit crimes. So it will be changing the very dynamics on the ground, sir. And the police will be, sir, de-stressed, de-burdened, and probably they are performing the role of Lord Krishna, sir. Because they are there wherever the dharma ki hani, and they are there to protect the dharma and take care of adharmi and all those kind of the things. So virtually, whatever the Lord Krishna said to himself in Gita, virtually police is doing almost the same kind of the things. The only thing, they are not getting the right kind of the respect because of their certain conduct. So in this, that kind of the conduct will not be permissible. So they will not only be de-burdened and de-stressed, but they will be hugely respected, and the police personnel will be having very high degree of the self-esteem, sir, and they will be virtually respected. I feel when my police will be taking cognizance of the 100% cases and detecting 100% cases and the conviction in 100% cases and preventing 100% cases and rehabilitating all criminals, then probably I will be the first person to rise and salute them. So if that kind of the respect they will be getting, probably whole game will change, sir. अभी सर जो पोजीशन है वो हेल्पलेसनेस की है. हेल्पलेस के से हम लोग सर समर्थता की तरफ मूव कर जाएंगे, सर. हम जो है ना अभी जो है ना जितने जो है ना उसमें शंकाओं में घिरे हुए हैं, शंकाओं की कोई जगह नहीं है, सर. यदि कोई हमको सर एक कार्य ये बताए कि सर इसमें ये कमी है, उस चीज को पूर्ति करने में it will take not more than 7 days, sir. We have developed that kind of the capability at the moment, sir. And probably we would not like that the government to invest on that, sir. Because government यदि invest करेगी तो there will be n number of the sir जो है ना negative tendency will come. So let the people should participate and have the fruits of it also, sir. Because इतनी heavy revenue stream होगी, sir, कि probably we need to do the tendering, sir. मतलब लोग जो है ना आपकी लाइन लगाएंगे कि मुझे नोट मिल जाए, सर, because of the very revenue stream, sir. And इतना सर पैसा जो है ना इकट्ठा होगा, सर, कि probably आने वाले समय में हमें कॉमर्स टैक्स वगैरह बंद कर दें, यदि हम जो है ना एक्साइज टैक्स बंद कर दें, उससे कहीं ज्यादा जो है ना पैसा इकट्ठा होगा by capturing evidences, sir. एंड धीरे धीरे सर हम चाहे वो वेट एंड मेजर्स हो, चाहे अडल्ट्रेशन हो, उन सब में भी हम कंपाउंडिंग के फंडे पे चले जाएं, सर. वी डू नॉट हैव दैट इनफ पीपल टू जो है ना रियली हैंडल इट. सो व्हाई टू डू दैट? वी कैन जो है ना जस्ट बिकॉज दे आर कमिटिंग इट क्राइम फॉर द गेन पर्पस, सर, फॉर इकोनॉमिक रीजंस. हम उनकी इकोनॉमिक टांग तोड़े, सर, बाय एक्सट्रैक्टिंग ए बिग कंपाउंडिंग फीस and then giving that 50% to the public. So everybody would be benefited, and over the period of the time, sir, it will be a transfer of money from haves to have-nots, and it will be affecting the per capita income, sir. At the same time, infusing rule of law, sir. I hope, sir, you are convinced about, or you can foresee that what really I mean, sir, what I am visualizing, and what kind of the capacity we have already created, sir. And sir, we are really suffering for, we are not getting right kind of the data set for training. तो सर आपको सर ताज्जुब होगा, हम सर फिल्मों से डाटा सेट ले रहे हैं, हम कहीं सीरियल से डाटा सेट ले रहे हैं, हम कहीं से जो है ना मिमिक करके डाटा सेट लेके हम अपने मॉडल्स को ट्रेन कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज सिस्टम जो है ना इज रियली नॉन कोऑपरेटिव. वो जो है कोई किसी को सुनने के लिए तैयार नहीं. आई हैव जो ना, सो आई रियली प्रे दैट इफ दिस हैज टू रियली make crime-free Bharat, no less than the Prime Minister and Home Minister has to really give a hearing. And at the state level, we have started earlier, sir. We were focusing on the center side. Now we have started focusing on the state side also, sir. So we are trying to contact Madhya Pradesh, our own government. We are trying to contact Gujarat government, Bihar government, UP government, and we are trying. If we are successful there, probably we will be having experimental ground to prove that before the center कि सर देखिए तो इन 4-5 स्टेट में इतना अच्छा काम कर रहा है, there is no reason not to be adopted by at the central levels. So we greatly, sir, really looking for your blessing for this to happen.
Please go on with the project.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर. आपने इतने ही महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर इतनी गंभीरता से एक इतने समराइज वे में आपने सारी चीजें एक्सप्लेन की, श्री मैथिली शरण गुप्त सर और विशेष सर ऑनरेबल डिस्ट्रिक्ट वेद प्रकाश सर. हम आपके सर विशेष रूप से आभारी हैं कि आपने एक नई दिशा दी और एक आपने हमारे अंदर इंजेक्शन लगाया है, कोविड-19 का नहीं बल्कि एक उत्साह का और एक प्रेरणा का इंजेक्शन. हम सर आपके लिए आभार व्यक्त करते हैं आपका, क्योंकि आपने युवाओं के संदर्भ में और 2 व्यक्तियों के संदर्भ में विशेष बात कही, ऑप्टिमिस्टिक और पेसिमिस्टिक. जो ऑप्टिमिस्टिक भाव आपने दर्शाए हम लोगों के इस प्रोजेक्ट के प्रति सर, ये सच में अतुलनीय है और ये हमारे लिए प्रेरणा के प्रथम स्रोत है सर. कहा जाता है कि युवाओं की उम्मीदों की चिंगारी को यदि हवा मिल जाए तो वो कामयाबी की मिसाल बनकर चमकने लगती है. एक और कहावत है, बीज बो दो तो फूल बनकर चमन को बहार देंगे और दिशा दे दो तो हम सब मिलकर इस देश को संवार देंगे. सर ये युवाओं की शक्ति है, जो उत्साहवर्धन आपने किया है सर, तो उसके लिए
मुझे दुष्यंत कुमार का एक शेर याद आ रहा है
सर.
मैं कैसे आकाश में सुराख नहीं हो सकता, कैसे आकाश में सुराख नहीं हो सकता, एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यारो, एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यारो. तो वो डिटर्मिनेशन, डेडिकेशन और कमिटमेंट उसको साथ लेके करेंगे तो पता नहीं लोगों ने क्या क्या कर डाला है ना.
यस सर. सर आपके नाम से ही हम लोगों की, आपके आशीर्वाद की अखंड आवश्यकता है. वैसे बहुत कम देखा जाता है कि पुलिस में कोई मुखिया इतनी बड़े सिस्टम में बदलाव लाने के लिए अग्रसर हो, जहां दूसरी ओर विश्व में कोई भी ऐसी तकनीक नहीं है जो तकनीक इस सिस्टम से जो हम लोग प्रपोज कर रहे हैं मैच खाती हो. भारत एक अनोखा प्रयास कर रहा है. अगर हमारी सारी यूनिवर्सिटी की मेहनत सफल हुई सर, मोर देन 56 यूनिवर्सिटीज इन्वॉल्व है, NLU से लेके IIT से लेके IIM से लेके. अगर सर इसमें आपकी प्रेरणा और आपका आशीर्वाद मिलता है हमारी टीम को, तो सर हमें पूरा विश्वास है इसको पास करवा दिया जाएगा प्रपोजल को. सर आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर. मैं हृदय से गदगद हो रहा हूँ सर, मन प्रफुल्लित हो रहा है, रोम रोम मेरे पुलकित हो रहे हैं ये आपकी बात सुनकर सर, जो आपने हम लोगों के लिए कही है सर. आपका हृदय से एक बार फिर से धन्यवाद. इसी बीच हम चलते हैं उस घड़ी की ओर जिस लम्हे का मुझे बहुत दिनों से इंतजार था. मैंने अपने प्रोफेसर श्री PK शुक्ला सर के मुख से सुनी हुई वाणी को बहुत पहले सुना था, जब हमारे सर हमारे 3rd ईयर में हमको क्रिमिनोलॉजी की शिक्षा दे रहे थे और CRPC की शिक्षा दे रहे थे. आज मेरे लिए वह फिर से अवसर आ गया कि मैं सर को, ऐसे सर हमारे जिनके पढ़ाए हुए विद्यार्थी देश प्रदेश में विदेश में भी नाम रोशन कर रहे हैं, हाई कोर्ट में जजेस हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एएसजी और एडवोकेट जनरल के पद पर शुमार हैं, हमारे जैसे कई लोग शिक्षा अभी भी ग्रहण कर रहे हैं। सर आपका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। आप कृपया कर अपने चंद मिनटों को हमारे लिए भी साझा करें और इस प्रोजेक्ट में अपनी दिव्य ज्योति से हम लोगों को प्रकाश करें सर। श्री पी के शुक्ला सर। सर आपका माइक ऑफ है सर।
धन्यवाद हिमांशु।
अभी आपका माइक अब ऑन है मेरे ख्याल से। देखिए जरा आप चेक करिए कनेक्टिविटी का कहाँ इशू आ रहा है।
ऑन है सर।
सर आपकी आवाज है? सर की आवाज नहीं आ रही है? आ रही है?
देखो।
ओके, आई एम अनेबल टू हियर हिम। सर आपको आवाज आ रही है?
Is it audible, हिमांशु?
हाँ
हिमांशु, am I audible?
It is audible. Yeah. Yes.
सर हम नहीं सुन पा रहे।
Very good evening everybody.
ओके,
सब कुछ आपके? Is it all right, sir?
Yeah.
Am I audible to you, sir?
Yeah. Yes.
Fine. Now, a warm good evening to everybody. I have been listening to Justice Ved Prakash sir, and I was thinking over that as if there is a need and it is the opportune time when the pleading of the common man's interest must be presented. Therefore, this time I am going to plead the case of a common man. What is meant by the case of a common man? I could say that the case of the common man stands in the context. What is the context? Context is that common man is struggling for eking out bread and butter. He is not having any intention to commit crime, but he becomes a victim. He becomes a victim, and that is the situation when the questions of law and justice come into being. What is for, I could say, law and justice, if law and justice do not come to rescue that common man, and he is deprived of his right to life, liberty, as well as livelihood. What can be done? There is a passerby who is a witness, and he finds that this common man, this poor man, who comes out of his house early in the morning while there is daybreak, and he toils for the whole day, and he returns along with his wife and a newborn baby to house to find that whatever he had earned was looted by some hoodlums who were standing on the road. It is the situation when uncertainty is depicted. Uncertainty is depicted, and there is risk of safety and security to the common man. The witness who had seen that this poor man was looted, his belongings as well as his money were taken by the hoodlum, by the goon, he does not come to rescue because he is particeps criminis. He is a person who lends support to commission of crime on that highway or on that path. What is the problem? How this problem can be solved? While we talk about the concept of certainty, the certainty, so many kinds of certainties have been referred to. For example, certainties of detection of crime, certainties of conviction, certainty of prevention, and certainty of rehabilitation. I hold these four types of certainties. They are astute enough to bring home the very purpose of this very noble scheme. This noble scheme is based upon the scientific and technical edifice, technical foundation. Whether it is something very queer to find that there is scientific and technological, I could say, technique in the criminal justice system, question mark. Whether it is a queer situation, I would say it is not a clear situation because the scholars have stated that law is science. Law is the noblest science, and the only noblest science present in the society was law. And therefore, I could say that if law is science, then it must involve scientific and technological tools and techniques to deliver justice. Common man, if informed that look, science and technology will help you because this man who is otherwise alter ego of a human being who is walking on the road, and where there is no family, there is no neighbor, there is no known person, and he has not come as a witness to help you, then if there is science and technology, certainly science and technology will be your best neighbor and best friend. Therefore, the case of common man can be pleaded that if man has become so selfish and so blind to the, you could say, calls of morality, then let science and technology be standing as if it is the guardian, it is the neighbor, it is the best friend of that common man who is found in this lurching situation. David Young is a scholar who is talking about that if criminal law provides deterrent punishment, then certainly the problem of causation of crimes could be averted to a great extent. He analyzes his theory, the basic premise, the basic thesis that deterrent punishment could deter causation of crime. But while he finds, in light of the empirical facts and data and analysis, that crime is just like shopping a car. And if economic reinforcements are not provided by the society, then there is no guarantee that crimes would not be committed. Economic reinforcements are as if the way through which the very temperament of committing crime can be, you could say, dealt with sternly. It is not the punishment that will deter a criminal and criminal mentality at all. While Gupta sir was referring to the economic reinforcements or economic income, certainly I was as if reading David Young's theory relating to causation of crime and the theories of punishment that would be bearing upon curbing the human tendency to commit crimes. Therefore, I could say that if science and technology stands as if the friend of common man, a friend of a victim, certainly it would be one of the noblest accomplishments on the way that the criminal justice system in the present scientific and technologically advanced society expects. Whenever society grows scientifically and technologically, there is a situation that is the situation of anomie. Man finds himself at a loss. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know where to go. And in such situation, I would say that the development of science
सर आई थिंक सर का माइक इशू आ रहा है थोड़ा कुछ। श्री मैथिली शरण गुप्त सर, आप टेक्निकल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हैंडल कर रहे हैं, प्लीज आप देखिए।
Shukla sir, I will suggest you can leave and then rejoin. Probably this issue will be handled because there seems to be some internet connectivity. And जब तक आप बीच में, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ इसको इस इशू को हैंडल करने का। प्रोफेसर शुक्ला, he was very right that technology can play a very vital role in helping out people. They basically, when we are saying the technology can play a great role, at the same time we are saying we would not like to claim supremacy of technology. So there's a little dichotomy what I am trying to say. I am saying we will ensure very high degree of superiority of the technology without claiming for it, because whatever the evidence or whatever the analysis is being done or captured by the technology, we intend to push it to the expert, and that too on real-time basis. So there will be one expert app with all kind of the tools, so that expert can play a very, very important role almost on the real-time basis. And whatever he is saying and whatever his opinion, that can be projected in a pictorial form with the actual measurement, with showing whatever the reason and basis of his opinion. And then that opinion, because now lot many experts opinion, they are admissible, because now it is recognizing handwriting expert, now it's recognizing even electronic experts. So a number of experts are already recognized by the Evidence Act. We will be creating all those experts with the proper degree, proper certification, and with proper notification by the government. And they will not be 1, 2. They will be with thousands, so that their availability could be ensured. And another reason is we want to really give them financial stream. So we want that let more number of the people should acquire the formal education, let the more number of the people should get the accreditation as an expert, and then we will push this information or process information of the technology to these experts on the real-time basis, and enable them to give opinion almost on the real-time basis. And it will be again tagged with those 3 certificates: certificate of the admissibility, certificate of integrity, and certificate of the chain of custody, and will be sent to the court, making use of the ICJS. And probably court will be enabled in a much bigger way, because the summons warrants, their execution, and then there's a video-based distributed trial. In first go, we were saying that the registration of the crime without going to Thana. Now, I may be pardoned for making a very drastic statement: trial of a case without visiting court. So in future, nobody will be going to court. Court will be distributed. So honorable judge will be sitting in a chamber. There will be 5 screens. His PA, 2 PAs, they will be sitting in their own chamber, and they will be basically doing and streamlining the trials. So trial will be basically, they will be already scheduled in parallel, and the witness will not be coming to the court. Witness will be going to a witness center, and it will be distributed center. So it will be distributed all across the nearby center he can go. And there are the 3 protocols for the witnesses. So first protocol is the identity protocol, where the identity of the witness will be ascertained. So nobody would be in position to impersonate. Then there is a second protocol, that is, he is not under any pressure, he is not under any duress. So under any pressure, or if he is under duress, he will be quarantined, just like Corona. So he will be quarantined till he is coming out from that fear psychosis. So after the second protocol, then he will be going to the third protocol, that is the deposition as a witness. And there also there will be more than 1 camera. Probably, if Judge want us to say, we can say whether he is telling wrong or right also. then it for the defense lawyer also, sir will agree, because say I am having less experience of the court than sir, honorable judge, sir. You will agree, sir, at many places the defense lawyer even sometimes threaten court. Sometimes they verge into the contemptuous behavior. So the technology at back end will be identifying that, and it will plead before the court that this particular defense lawyer, he has committed contempt of the court. Similarly, since we have developed expertise on the expressions and behavior, it will be in position to identify unethical behavior on the part of the that lawyer, and probably we will take the evidence and we will go to the bar council and we will say that you are custodian of ethical code, and here are the proof, and you may like to proceed. And even when say bar council decides not to prosecute him, still in that case also, he would be that record would be created. Probably we can plead that his practicing license would be cancelled. So we can create one kind of the ecosystem where we will be ensuring very prompt disposition of the cases, very prompt disposal of cases would be there. Probably within a month, we would be in position to decide majority of the cases. If required, the technology will bring some kind of innovation in helping out judges. See, sir, here I would like to pray, sir. See, if we go to as a doctor, he will not listen directly, sir. So there's a one junior doctor or some kind of a helper who will note down all history. We can have that kind of the concept. If somebody else can do the basic processing, and the moment it is ripe, he will become a presenter before the judge. So we can even consider the other methodology which can help, which can be helpful in accelerate our disposal of the cases. And this now, sir, how many crore? I think 5 or 8 crore of the cases are pending, and that kind of the mind-boggling figure is there, sir. So I think we can help out. Pardon, sir?
3.7 crore.
Yes, sir. So that is a very big figure, sir. If we could change this aspect by employing some kind of reprocessing, by helping out, by thinking, and if required, sir, we can even have some kind of the legal enabling. If the legal law is a handicap, sir, law is almost is created by us. So there is no reason why we cannot change the law if there is a change in the situation, sir, number one. And if we can, sir, ensure prompt disposal of the cases and prompt conviction of the cases, the lot of incentive which is flowing because of the delay in imparting justice, that will set the distortion, present distortion in a very big basin. That is really something which need to be, sir, looked at. And we really humbly we would like to pray if your good offices could be there, and we can go and plead our case to Chief Justice of Madhya Pradesh. Once I got the opportunity to discuss with him when he came to Vidhan Sabha Bhavan, so he was very receptive. But with your reference, we will go. Probably the receptivity will be still higher, sir. And if we can really, sir, help out the court. By doing so, sir, lot many cases they are pending on account of that IO is not visiting court trial cases, sir. So that kind of the situation would not be there, because he can depose right from his thana, sir. So that kind of the things would be there, sir. And even the documents which are not original document which has been submitted to the court, that may not be really very legible. The technology can, sir, show the original, and it can show that improved document, and it can be better appreciated by witnesses, better appreciated by the defense lawyer, better appreciated by the prosecutor, and it will be better appreciated by the honorable judge, and it will help out to give a very fast and prompt judgment, sir. So I feel that technology is not only for the common man, technology not only for the poor or the victim, but it can really help in a very big way judges, sir. And we are having action plan. We don't want to stop at cognizable offences, sir. So we want to really, this cognizable and non-cognizable business, it has been created by British, sir, just keeping economy in their mind, and they did never wanted to invest more on policing, sir. So without really disturbing that balance, now we can have that our volunteers, we can have the legal volunteers, and even the non-cognizable cases, they can be taken through the route of the 200 and 204. And many of them, we can make them compoundable so that it can be converted into the revenue stream, sir. And when this cognizable and non-cognizable cases we handle successfully, then even we can think of how we can help out in the civil disputes also, sir. Because ultimately these are very intricately, sir, connected. We cannot say that this is the criminal, this is the civil, this is cognizable, this is non-cognizable. They're very thin line, and sometimes deliberately we are saying that civil case, it is not really civil because there's always a sense of 400 BC, there's a sense of, so, but we are saying, no, it is a civil case. It is a just commercial transaction. It is not a commercial transaction, it's the intent, and all the document they are suggesting that he was having intention to deceive. Then it is a 400 BC, sir. It is not a civil case. So sometimes even we are refusing its registration and we are pushing it as a civil case, and the person, since it is not being taken cognizance, the complainant is having no other option but to go to the court as a civil case. So from cognizable, then non-cognizable, and then we can really help out in the civil suits also, and probably we can help a discharging and this whole criminal justice system, sir. So I feel, sir, your portfolio, your domain is really the right place where we should plead, sir, and we will come formally before your body, sir. We will like to plead, and whatever that guidance would be given by you, we will be all जो ना reasonable जो है things, they, if even there are the gaps, those gaps can be fulfilled, sir, with no difficulty, sir.
So, sir, sorry for the interruption. Actually, P.K. Shukla sir is waiting for you to be added. So can you please add him?
He is not there.
Okay, he said
not there. He is not there. You just tell him to join. He is not there.
Okay, sir.
You should join the studio. You should join the studio.
Yeah, he has to join the studio so that I can enter him into that. Yeah, please. सर जो है सर, इसमें थोड़ा सा आप बोले, जब तक मैं उनको फोन लगा लेता हूँ, सर.
Question is that firstly we should focus that this you can say it in two parts. One is the part pre-trial part, and second is the trial part. The first is that our effort should be to strengthen the pre-trial process. Okay, we can just listen to Shukla. Yes.
Yes, sir. So continuing the discussion.
I would like to listen to you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Technological intervention was there.
Yeah.
I think that stands removed. That stands removed. So now we can resume. Yeah.
Fine, sir. So I was referring to the theory of Cesare Beccaria. Cesare Beccaria was the propounder of classical school of criminology. He emphasized that certainty is prerequisite for criminal law. And when he was talking about criminal mentality to be curbed by criminal law, he meant there by that the criminal law be reformed to an extent that the enforcement is not without certainty. If the criminal laws are made as if they become the pride of the civilization, according to Beccaria, that is not the meritorious task or that is not the meritorious function of a state to lay down the criminal laws one after the other. There is a cartload of criminal laws, but of no utility so far as the ground realities are not, you could say, touched. And therefore, while I refer to Cesare Beccaria and relate Cesare Beccaria's theories with a specific reference to the aspect of certainty, I find that this initiative or this very, I could say, proposal, this very scheme of crime-free Bharat is centered around certainty, and therefore it is the excellent type of idea and it must be welcomed by everyone. Now, while there is no certainty, there is lack of certainties, then moral dilemma are fallout. Moral dilemma are the result. And moral dilemma are faced by everyone who is participating in the administration of criminal justice. The police, who is undertaking the task of investigation. The witness, who is undertaking the task of performance of the duty. The court, as well as the legal practitioner in the court. Moral dilemma. And therefore, if certainty is there, then it will repel. You could say it will.
I think, sir, there's a again internet connectivity issue. So that will be resolved for itself. I mean, he need not to really exit. Sir, meanwhile, sir, you can continue with your point, sir.
I was just trying to point out that we should look at the things in stages. The pre-trial stage and trial stage. Firstly, we should strengthen this pre-trial process, meaning thereby reporting of the crime. Secondly, the detection of the crime. Thirdly, the investigation of the crime. And we should use the technology in a manner so that the proper reporting is there.
Yes, sir. There is heavy rain outside, and I think due to heavy rain, only it is getting disconnected.
Oh, yeah.
No issue, sir.
Now, I was referring to Jeremy Bentham's classical theory. Jeremy Bentham was a criminal law reformer, and he was the propounder of classical school. He emphasized the importance of preventive measures. And why he emphasized the preventive measures? For the reason that too many criminal laws create only criminal consciousness, and criminal consciousness are not the index or barometer of the civilization. And therefore, it becomes very important to find which way we could claim that we belong to a nation, we belong to a society where there is utmost rationality and there is utmost morality. It can be only possible if, I quote Jeremy Bentham, when certainties are infused into the system of criminal justice administration. And therefore, it is very important that certainties must be safeguarded. I refer to another scholar, W.C. Reckless, who talks about crime problem. W.C. Reckless states that crime is just like a problem. It is mind-boggling problem, and the laws attempt to solve this problem, but this problem cannot be solved if the proper initiatives, social initiatives and legal initiatives are not undertaken. And therefore, the problem lies with the mindset that initiative meaning by, again, I revert back to Stanley Cohen's theory. Stanley Cohen states that in a democratic society, human rights are violated. And human rights are violated by a state as well as by the citizens. While human rights are violated, Stanley Cohen refers to a concept of culture of denial. Culture of denial, meaning thereby that a person witnesses a crime being committed and a person being victimized, but he does not come to rescue. He does not come to depose in favor of the victim. As if, according to Stanley Cohen, he practices a culture of denial. And the culture of denial, according to Stanley Cohen, is as if practicing a slogan: yes, but no. Yes, but no. While I teach this theory in the classroom, I state that sometimes I find some persons practicing it. Yes, but no. And therefore, culture of denial is very dangerous. In a democratic institution, culture of denial is very dangerous. It cuts into, it eats the root of democratic society. It eats the root of rule of law society. And culture of denial creates three kinds of, you could say, evil impacts. The evil impacts are routinization, authorization, and dehumanization. Routinization. Everyone finds that there is a victim. Every day there is a victim at that spot, at the particular time slot, and he does not come. Everyone who is a witness does not come to rescue the victims. It is the kind of routinization. Authorization. There is another person who authorizes. Let the crime take place there, don't come to rescue of the victims. Ultimately, it leads to dehumanization. My question is whether in a human society, in a democratic society, there could be any spirit of dehumanization be practiced, professed, and propagated? Certainly not. If it is there, then there is no rule of law society. Therefore, this very scheme, crime-free India, is the scheme where science and technology will help the victim. Victim may be a common man, victim may be a privileged person, victim may be anyone belonging to the society. And if he is important for the society, then it is the duty of the society to provide the best kind of help that could be the savior of the, you could say, grievances of the victim. That way, it could be stated that this scheme will be safeguarding human rights. Sometimes, when rule of law society is referred to, I find being a witness, being a student of law, that let there be a coinage like rule of justice society. Rule of law society, meaning thereby that the legislature may be very fond of making laws after laws, amending the laws. But certainly the problem lies untouched and, you could say, dealt with. And if rule of justice society is our emphasis, certainly we shall find that we shall not be running after making laws. Rather, we must be running after finding the ways to find justice. This crime-free India is the way. When we are not as if uh, constrained by the levers and by the mindset of laws, rather requirement, need, urge of justice. Lastly, I would like to talk about ethics of the administration of justice. In this regard, I love to refer to the concept lawyer as a friend. This concept is proffered by scholar Charles Fred. Charles Fred states that a professional lawyer is a friend of the client, meaning thereby that the professional lawyer is loyal to the interest of the client. But utilitarians criticize the status and role and loyalty of the professional lawyer. Utilitarians state that what is the role of a professional lawyer if he does not attend the interest of the common man. Interest of the common man must be attended by the professional lawyer, but the professional lawyer is blind of the interest of the common man. And therefore, as if criticism is made of the traditional professional lawyer's role who is loyal to the client. The professional criminal lawyer has got the reply that, look, I perform the task which is provided by the legal system, and legal system is to be made by the society, and society is the body of persons who are depository of the moral consciousness. And if the society has laid down the legal system and the legal system provides for adversary system of justice, demanding that let there be two opposite parties and two practicing lawyers arguing the points on both the parties, then he is not doing any immoral act. He is not doing an act that is not loyal to the interest of the society. And therefore, I could say at the end that there are instances when the traditional role of a professional lawyer also suffers a handicap of moral dilemma. The handicaps may be in two situations. The first situation is that the professional lawyer has chosen a client, has accepted a client whom he knows that he is morally guilty. Even then, as the system requires, he has to plead his case because it is the duty shouldered by him as a member of the Bar Council, as a member of the Bar Association, and governed by the dictates of the law. The moral dilemma is kept aside for the time being, but again the moral dilemma dawns in mind when he finds that in spite of his best efforts, only due to lack of evidences and uncertainties, due to lack of certainties, he could not help the innocent, and the innocent was convicted or a criminal was acquitted. Therefore, I could say that if crime-free India is very much for, I could say, emphasizing and very much certifying certainty with the help of scientific and technological tools and techniques, certainly it is an excellent endeavor. It must be accepted with open arms because it would provide a rule of justice society. At the end, I could say that the Honorable DGP Police Reform, Gupta sir, is performing a task which I would say, which I would, as if you could say, state in the words of the word poet Goswami Tulsidas. He writes, Vidyavan guni ati chatur ram kaj kari beko vatur. I'm not praising Mr. Gupta sir personally, not at all. I am not praising at all. I am not eulogizing his personal attributes. But the way he is devoted to this very task and this very noble idea, this movement, I find this movement is full of wisdom. Vidyavan, Guni. It is full of qualities, full of noble and excellent qualities, meritorious qualities. Vidyavan, Guni, Ati Chatur. Certainties are so ensured that even a very clever person will not find any default, any mistake, any defect in the very system that has been chalked out by none else than Gupta sir. Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Vatur. What is meant by Ram Kaj? Goswami Tulsidas, while he wrote Sri Ram Charit Manas, he was not talking and he was not praising of any person like Lord Ram, Goddess Sita Ma, or Lord Hanuman. No, nothing like that, as if he was talking about the, you could say, victory of truth over untruth, victory of virtue over evil disposition. That way I could say, Ram Kaj Karibe Ko Atur, this crime-free India is all for service of humanity, service of the, you could say, victims of, you could say, the criminal propensities and criminal dispositions of evil minds and evil persons. I would welcome the movement, and I would say that it must show a path of rule of justice society. Jai Hind.
सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, इतना आनंदित लेक्चर मुझे सच में क्लासरूम्स में नहीं लगता था जितना मुझे आज लगा। अगर किसी ने नोटिस किया हो, मेरे चेहरे में, मेरे मुखमंडल में स्माइल एक झलकती रही लगातार। जो शब्द आपने कहे, मैं अगर उनको 2-3 लाइनों में समराइज करूं तो सर आपने विशेषकर इस बात पर अंत में जोर डाला है विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर पे। तो मैं समझता हूं सर, आप न केवल एक शिक्षक हैं बल्कि आज आप जौहरी भी बन गए हैं, क्योंकि जौहरी ही वो होता है जो एक हीरे की पहचान कर पाता है। तो अगर क्राइम फ्री भारत का जो प्रोजेक्ट है हीरा है, तो आप सर जौहरी हैं जो आज आपने इतने सुंदर शब्दों से, लफ्जों से नवाजा है। और तो और विद्यावान की पहले सर एक और प्रशंसा की गई किसी शख्स की, और मैं आज समझता हूं कि वो शख्स आप दोनों हमारे मंचासीन अतिथियों के लिए वो शख्स का शब्द प्रयोग करना काफी उचित रहेगा। श्री गुरुचरण सरोज रज। श्री गुरुचरण मतलब कि अपने गुरुओं के चरणों की धूल को मैं अपने मन के दर्पण से साफ करता हूं। श्री गुरुचरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी, मैं अपने मन के दर्पण को साफ करता हूं। आपने सर जो ज्ञान दिया है, जो ज्ञान का भवसागर हम लोगों के में डुबकी लगवाई है हम लोगों को, वो सर एक अलौकिक एक अनुभव था। मैं समझता हूं कि हमारे लिए इससे बड़ा कोई दिन नहीं हो सकता। आज हिंदी दिवस है, इसलिए मैंने पूरी तरीके की कोशिश की कि मैं सारी चीजें हिंदी और हमारी देवभाषा संस्कृत में ही रखूं। मैं आपका पुनः स्वागत करता हूं सर, आपने इतने अच्छे शब्दों से हम लोग को मोहित कर दिया। मैं सच बताऊं, और जिन 5-6 लोगों के आपने नाम लिए क्रिमिनोलॉजिस्ट के, श्री मैथिली शरण गुप्ता और ऑनरेबल जस्टिस वेद प्रकाश सर, एक्चुअली क्रिमिनोलॉजी के पेपर के समय वो सारे मुझे अभी भी याद है, मैं रट रहा था। और a day before the exam was so tremendous, I was cramming every conviction whatever sir has taught, and see, this has made the change. Whatever I have learned from sir's learning is really making an impact in the society. And thankful to you sir that at that point in time I scored 70 marks, that means A plus, highest marks in the batch in your subject, because I paid attention in your classes. Thank you so much sir. Now I hand over the mic to Honorable Maithili Sharan Gupta to extend a vote of thanks to the panelists.
Sir, we are really greatly indebted for the very, very kind words and very virtuous and guiding principles which you have been cited by you. And you have cited Ramayana and other, not only that criminology, but you have cited lot of epics, and I think you have really thrown a true light. And I greatly admire for your contribution. I greatly admire for your personal sense of commitment to crime-free Bharat. Let me say it on record that Shukla sir, he has said that he is he want to devote his time for crime-free Bharat, and he want to volunteer himself for this cause. And I think it is very much visible when he was making the discourse on everything that reflected his true sense of commitment we really, sir, need the people like you who can really usher in wherever there's any gaps. I am once again greatly honored, and I am say I would like to convey my gratitude, my thanks to Honorable Justice Sri Ved Prakash sir, and I think sir, your word of wisdom and your word of blessings that has given a new energy in us. There's a team which we say Crime Free Bharat team, not me alone. I think everybody who is connected with this team, directly and indirectly, everybody is really feeling greatly enthused and greatly energized. It will help us, our student also, because they keep on watching this. So they will also be greatly energized, and probably it will give them the new direction also, new sense of commitment also. Probably we are facing a lot of hardship in processing it. So we are getting less problem on the technical side. We are getting more problem from providing the right kind of the data set. And when we could not really manage the right kind of the data set, then we are going for the imaginary data set which can serve the same purpose. I am very sure if we could really plead to the government, if we could plead to Honorable Prime Minister, Home Minister, we can plead to the CM and HM of Madhya Pradesh and other state government also. And we can, because now we are very much keen that in addition of central government, I should change focus. At least we should make or approach few governments, including our Madhya Pradesh government. And if it could be adopted by them, probably it will help in a greater way. And basically, there should not be any resistance from anybody for simple reason. It is not taking anybody's power. It is not interested in transfer and posting, sir. It is not taking away anybody's power. It is helping out everybody. It is helping out victims. It is helping out police. It is helping out expert. And at the same time, sir, it is dhan ki varsa bhi kar rahe hain, sir. So I feel that everybody should be very happy, especially in Corona-like situation when people are losing jobs. We have created some 11 Bharat. So I would just like to take their names, sir. One Bharat is Job and Services Rich Bharat. Then we are talking of the green, herbal, nutrition rich, medicine free, healthy Bharat, sir. Then we are talking of the machinery, equipment and tool rich Bharat. I very strongly believe that why that even the people, those who have to do the manual work, why we cannot come out with a full spectrum of the technology and tools to minimize the physical labor on their part, and then they can do their job with a greater efficiency and in the lesser time. So we do not really want the total more output, but we want that they should save some time, and that time should be enrich their life. They can spend a quality time with their family, they can spend quality time with their children, and they can make their life more meaningful to them. I am very sure, sir, we have not taken birth to for slogging. We have not taken birth to earn money. Money is a monetary device which we have created. It has no relevance, no acceptance anywhere, sir. And we have not developed any technology to take it with us. It is absolutely useless thing, sir. And wherever it is existing, it is a more cause of disharmony rather than helping anybody, sir. So if we can really go for that trusteeship theory, whereby the lot of things should be created and should be distributed, and the per capita, not only the income, I will say per capita happiness could be enhanced. Sir, before closing, I would, sir, request you to, sir, say a few words of the blessing before Himanshu can propose a final vote of thanks, sir. Sir, it is muted by you, sir. You kindly unmute it, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I started saying that I have spoken a lot. But then one thing is very important. Discussion, debate, and deliberation paves the way for realizing something which is concrete, for realizing something which can help the people. So today we have discussed the issues with regard to this missionary project, holistic project, and definitely it opens a new chapter in our journey, and I hope that mission will definitely attain the goal which is cherished.
सर आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हालांकि हमने प्रयास किया था कि वोट ऑफ थैंक्स का जो भार है वो हमारे श्री मैथिली शरण सर उठाएं, लेकिन उन्होंने ये भी हमारे कंधों पे डाला है। मुझे इस पर गर्व है कि मुझे इस काबिल समझते हैं कि मैं इतने बड़े पैनलिस्ट को वोट ऑफ थैंक्स देने का हकदार हूँ। क्योंकि सब कुछ यहाँ पर वाणी से था, सब कुछ यहाँ पर जो भी सम्मोहन था वो वाणी से था, तो मैं मुझे एक श्लोक याद आ गया, पृथिव्याम त्रीणि रत्नानि जल अन्नम सुभाषितम मूढ़े पाषाण खंडेषु रत्न संज्ञा विधीयते। पृथ्वी के 3 ही रत्न है, जल, अन्न और शुभ वाणी। बाकी जो लोग मूर्ख हैं वो समझते हैं कि एक रत्न भी एक बहुत बड़ा अमूल्य चीज है। तो जो सर शुभ वाणी है सर, उसका संचार आज आप लोगों के माध्यम से हुआ। हम लोगों ने बहुत चीजें आदान प्रदान की, विशेषकर ऑनरेबल जस्टिस वेद प्रकाश एंड श्री पीके शुक्ला सर के माध्यम से हम लोगों को जो शिक्षा मिली, उम्मीद है हम लोग उस पर एक नए सिरे से बदलाव लाने का प्रयास करेंगे। डेलिब्रेशन की और डिबेट की जो चर्चा सर ने अभी की है तुरंत में ही, उस पर भी हम लोगों ने पिछले 2 महीने 3 महीनों से ज्यादा हम लोगों ने काफी लोगों से चर्चा किया है, विमर्श किया है। हर एक वॉक ऑफ लाइफ को पीपल को इनवाइट करके इसी पैनल पे, इसी फोरम पे, और प्रयास किया है कि सबकी बातें सुनी जाए, मेडिकलिस्ट की, मेडिको लीगल एक्सपर्ट्स की, टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट्स की, लॉयर्स की, एडवोकेट की, ऑनरेबल जजेस की, सर्विंग जजेस की, एकेडमिशियंस की, हमारे जैसे कुछ छोटे मोटे विद्यार्थियों की भी चर्चा और बातें सुनी गई हैं। मुझे उम्मीद है हमारे श्री मैथिली शरण गुप्त सर इस प्रोजेक्ट को और भी नई दिशा में और भी तीव्रता के साथ में ले जाएंगे, और जल्द ही, जैसा कि उन्होंने अभी मंच में भी कहा था कि आपसे कंसल्ट करके इस प्रपोजल को आगे बढ़ाने में आपका हम लोग को आशीर्वाद भी मिलने वाला है। इन्हीं सब चीजों के साथ में, और हमारे सर ने जो जिस तरीके से थ्योरी और प्रैक्टिस को कैसे समाहित किया इतने बेहतरीन तरीके से, हम इस चीज के लिए श्री पीके शुक्ला सर के भी शुक्रगुजार हैं। अंत में मैं एक स्टेटमेंट बोलना चाहूंगा, अब के बिछड़े तो शायद हम ख्वाबों में मिलें, सूखे हुए फूल जैसे किताबों में मिले। इसी के साथ में मैं आप सभी का धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूँ। आपका दिन मंगलमय हो, और हम लोगों से जुड़ने के लिए आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मेरा नाम हिमांशु दीक्षित है, मैं NLIU का 4th ईयर लॉ स्टूडेंट हूँ। धन्यवाद।
नमस्ते सर। नमस्ते।
For sparing your valuable time, sir. Regards.
नमस्ते सर।